Welcome back to another reaction for the Food Diary of Miss Maid, episode 5. So let's see what kind of food we can enjoy this time. Oops. I don't see any food. I'm sorry, I totally forgot that we get the whole spiel again. I'm sorry. So ramen, maybe not. Ooh, soft serve. Okay. To be honest, at the beginning I assumed we would get a lot of Japanese only snacks and meals. I did not think that we would get a lot more international. I mean, not international, but stuff that is not originally around Japan, but more or less their take on it, like soft serve.
6月の日本の見どころ、雨に濡れた紫陽花は必見。
Oh, little bit sightseeing, okay. Alone is a little bit weird, but sure. Oh, rain is gone. No hydrant, whatever. For you.
そのまま歩いてきちゃったけど、雨が降ってないんじゃ、また今度にした方がいいのかな。このまま公園まで歩くか、引き返すか。
I mean, if it rained once, there's a high likelihood it is going to rain again, right? At least a little drizzle. I also feel like the sight would still be the same if you get fast enough there, because I feel like the main thing you want to see is the raindrops dripping from the flowers. And at the moment it still happens. It is still happening because it's right after rain shower. But you need to be there in like a minute or so, I feel like. Or again, if it rained once, it's more likely going to rain again. It's still overcast.
判断する元気が欲しい。元気が。アジサイソフトクリーム。
So, first off, I have no idea how we went from, hey, it's raining, to let's eat soft serve, unless it is really hot. Which I can't tell. Could be very warm. Now it's not overcast anymore. Also, hydrangea soft serve? Flower soft serve. Weird. Very floral.
いただきます。甘酸っぱいふんわりとした香りが濃厚で、ブルーベリーみたいな酸味が。
Okay.
ってこれ、アジサイ味でなくブルーベリー味なのでは？
ジュン、実はアジサイには花にも葉にも毒があるので食べられないぞ。だからブルーベリーとかサツマイモとかでアジサイを表現していることが多いんだ。
美味しいからいいか。
That sounds like false advertising. Straight up. However, I would like to see how many people would eat hydrangea style food if it was made out of the real thing and see them poison themselves. I wonder how many would do that. But yeah, I mean, faking the flavor, then at least write down hydrangea style or inspired.
チュン。ちなみにマイナス18度以下で冷やして販売しているのがアイスクリーム、
Okay.
マイナス5度から7度で販売しているの
おう
がソフトクリーム。アイスほど硬くなくて柔らかな食感が特徴だよ。
Yep.
香ばしいサクサクコーンと冷たいソフトクリーム、一体感があって嬉しい。あっ、紙の下豪華。本物のアジサイはどんな色なんだろう。
Purple? I mean, the whole point to use blueberries and I guess sweet potato or whatever is because it has a similar color to the real one. Oh, different types. Blue to red. Oh, some white. Okay. Eat it.
はあ、
Eat one of the patties. Let's see how toxic.
さっきのソフトクリームよりもっと濃くてワインみたいな色。
Okay. New idea. Hydrangea wine. Think about it. No idea how that should work, but we successfully milked almonds. We are going to be able to make wine out of hydrangea. Right?
来てよかったな。
And we are rushing.
アジサイの下に死体が埋まってると色が青くなる。もし青いアジサイがあったら。
確かに花の色は土の成分に影響されるけど、最近は品種改良も多く一概にそうとは。
行きたいけど怖い。
チュンチュン聞いてます？
Yeah. Nowadays, you can't really tell with a lot of these things. Plum wine. Plum wine. Plum. I believe I tried plum wine. It was pretty pleasant. Because these are probably like... That is a good question. Are we going with something a little less alcoholic, or do we go with something like 40% tile, where we go for something like a liqueur? Right? Or liqueur, whatever you want to pronounce it. I do not remember what exactly I drank, but I did drink some plum alcohol, and again, was pleasant. I'm not really a big fan of plums, but I don't dislike them. I feel like it's very hard nowadays online. Whenever you say you don't like something, people are already like, oh, you hate it. No, no, no. I'm just not, not really a big fan of it, but I don't actively dislike it. If I had a choice between different fruits, I would take like a strawberry, maybe cherries, oranges, those kinds. Plums are not really the one I would first pick out of all the fruits. What are we doing here?
今ので最後でした。
So we make our own plum wine, meaning it is low percentile. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I mean, you could... Here you can't really do that easy, I believe. But you can do more or less any kind of... I wouldn't really call it wine, but... You can make alcohol out of any fruit. It just needs some sugar. It needs some bacteria that works on it. Some water, I believe. And then you just need a special cap that lets out air but doesn't let air in. Normally it is one of those little tubes that go up, down, and up again, and you have a little bit of water inside. So the pressure as it builds, because whenever the alcohol is being formed, there's oxygen being formed as a substitute, I believe, or it pushes the oxygen out. There's some pressure being built, and that pushes the oxygen out of the bottle through the water. You see little bubbles and goes out, but the air outside can't go in because there's not enough pressure from the outside. That way you get the reaction, you form some alcohol, you have a little nice beverage. After you drain it or sieve it, whatever, you get all the solids out. On a similar, I don't know what, I can check, is there a name for that for international? You probably have heard of something like that. Rumpot, I guess. I mean, it seems like there's nothing really that is known internationally, but you take a big pot, you put a bunch of fruit inside. Now, what we did, you do essentially the same idea, where you have a lot of fruit, and that fruit is being worked on and could produce alcohol, or you could make it, you put a bunch of fruit in, you put best even cut it up, you put a bunch of high percentile liquor, like vodka as example, put a bunch of that in, let all the fruit leach out into the alcohol, remove the fruit at some point, add more liquor depending on what you want to do, and then you have like a fruity liquor. I don't really know exactly how it works. I only know you have like a big pot where you do that. You can let it sit for like up to a year, and then it is ready. All the fruit that you get out is very chalky. It doesn't have any flavor anymore. It's more or less all the flavors leached into the hard liquor, and you have flavored hard liquor essentially, which can be very nice because you have a lot of control. If it's not sweet enough, you can add some honey or stuff. If it's a little bit too sweet, you can add other flavors. You can add some acid, whatever you want. Some spice if you want to make it a little bit more spicy. Just a side tangent, because I just remembered that my grandmother was doing that and was pretty delicious. And a friend, their parents was doing the same, also very delicious. They would put that in little bottles, and you would have a nice little drink. They would also make their own marmalade, which was also very nice. There's a lot of stuff you can do with fruits. Just reminds me because of what we are doing here.
きれいな布で拭いて、熱消毒した保存瓶に梅と氷砂糖を交互に入れる。地層みたい。上からホワイトリカーを注いで。
This is essentially what the ramen thing pot is also. Something similar to this. This way you don't need to have like bacteria working on it and transform the sugar into alcohol. You already added the alcohol, you don't need a special cap as well. And now you just wait. The sugar is dissolving, the taste or flavor of the plums are going to leach out into the liquor. Now, I personally would have cut up the plums. More surface area, easier to draw out.
早く飲みたいな。おばあさままだかな。
Important with any of these, you are you should not really open them, because oxygen is one of those things that is going to add food for, like, to make it go bad. That is why, as example, you have the little special tube if you make something with the bacteria that transforms alcohol into sugar into alcohol, because the oxygen is going to potentially make it bad or go bad. So you don't want oxygen to get into there, which means normal air you don't really want to get into any of these. Here I would also probably add one of those special tubes, so the oxygen can be pushed out while no new oxygen goes in.
ただいま。
おかえりなさ。
あら、スズメ。
リコッタち
留守番と仕込みありがとうね。リコッタとはそこで会ったんだよ。挨拶に来てくれたんだってさ。
ゃん。やった。スズメがいたとは。リコッタちゃん？
スズメもいたんですのね。
はい。梅酒のお手伝いに。そうだ。今。
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
とは。リコッタちゃん？
Oh, she's happy that Suzume's here. Okay.
そうだ。今ちょうど仕込み。
And again, yeah, this is something my grandma did and the parents of a friend did. It seems like older generations do stuff like this. I feel like my generation went away doing that, but it also feels like the generations after me, they started doing this again. You know, it seems like a cycle. Generations that do that, generations that don't, and then they do it
終わっ
again.
たんですよ。よかったらリコッタちゃんも。
飲めるのは半年後だよ。
Yes. So this is essentially the rum pot. It is essentially that. Now the name rum pot is because you would add rum. It doesn't really matter what type of hard liquor you add, whatever you want. But yeah, it takes time. It takes time for the fruit to leach into the alcohol, and the fruit is, it's nearly inedible.
メイド長、こちらささやかですが、
元メイド長だけどね。
私の中
Excuse me? Former head maid.
ではメイド長はずっとメイド長ですわ。
ありがとう。
Makes sense why
マンス
she's
リ
the
ーマン
maid
ション
as
じゃな
well.
くて
Suzume.
うちにいればいいのに。
そんな滅相もないです。
ま、いつでも遊びにおいで。
はい、ぜひまたお伺いいたします。
スズメ。スズメ。去年漬けた梅酒があるからお客様にお出しして。
あるんですか？メイド長、まだお昼でしたよ。
梅酒は体にいいからいいんだよ。
Yeah, sure. It's good for you. Yeah.
梅酒はか
Yeah. You know, pizza is also good for you. I mean, it's essentially a lot of vegetables, right? There's some cheese. Cheese is good. Some tomatoes. Tomatoes are good. Olives. Olives could be good. A lot of good stuff on a pizza. Ignore the oil.
漢方として食前に飲むと良いとされているぞ。だからといって飲みすぎには注意だ。ジュン。
キッチンの戸棚の奥に瓶があるから出してくれ。
いい香り。おお、氷砂糖がいなくなっていますね。梅もシワシワ。
Yes.
Oh.
Now, because of the nature of this is not a wine. This is not a, hey, you drink it on the side to a meal normally. This is still pretty hard stuff, because you add high volume percentage liquor, normally like 40%. And even though you draw out some of the plum or some of the juice, the flavor and the sugar dissolves, it doesn't really go that much lower. It doesn't, probably like 35%. Meanwhile, wine is like, what, 15% maybe, depending. So it's double the effectiveness of wine. So you should be careful. Even though, depending on how you made it, it can be very sweet. It can go down really easy. You should be careful. This is stuff that you can overdo quite easily. Especially because you have so much control. You can make it a lot sweeter. And then you can mask the pure alcohol smell if you want as much as possible. You should be careful. I have drunk some of these that you did not even know how much power they can pack.
そういえばあんたたち酒飲んでいい年だったっけ？
18歳から飲んでいいので楽勝ですよ。
いや、それイギリス式だから。リコッタ、スズメからそれ取り上げて。
かしこまりました。
代わりにあんたはこれ。梅シロップのソーダ割り。
Not a valid exchange. If someone was like, oh, you can't drink that, take it away, I would just instantly drink all of it. It's mine. You can try to get it out of my body.
じゃあ改めて乾杯。
チアーズ。梅のコクと香りがすごいですわ。美味しい。
よくできてる。
梅シロップも爽やかさがいいですね。
それにしてもリコッタまで日本に来るとは思わなかったわ。
ご主人様のご指示ですので。
Sure.
夏服を持ってきてくださったんです。一緒にビスケットも食べたんですよ。
おやおや。
リコッタちゃん、また食べに来てくださいね。お待ちしてます。そうね。気が向いたらね。いつです？気が向いたらって言ったでしょ。気が向くのはいつです？しつこいですわよ、スズメ。じゃあ明日ですね。明日になら。
So they were friends for a long time? So I guess they feel like sisters at this point, right?
ないとわからないですわ。ええ、お待ちしてますね。
さっきのスズメがつけた梅酒、スズメが飲めるようになるまで取っておこうかね。
そんなに持つんですか？
Yes.
チュン、保存状態にもよるけど自家製の梅酒は10年くらい持つぞ。
飲め。
Main point is you can't open it. You can't let air in. Other than that, it should hold for like a long time because it has high volume percentage, whatever alcohol in it. Like rum. And rum holds forever as well, as example.
飲めるようになったらまたおいで。二人でね。
二人で？はい。私は
リコッタ、落ち着きなさい。
メイド長。
Barley tea, okay. Interesting. So tea.
おばあ様の用事完了。
Very hot. Probably the only thing I wouldn't like about Japan, it's too hot.
梅雨が終わってこれが日本の夏。そういえばおばあ様が家を出るときに渡してくれたんだった。
Oh, she gave you tea. I mean, a nice cold drink on a hot summer day. That hits so good.
麦茶 in 魔法瓶。優しい鈴みたいな
Some ice
宝物
cream?
みたいな音がする。
Ice cream. Some water paws. Some ice cubes. Maybe some metal balls that you cool down.
どうして？いただきます。
Very cold.
麦茶は大麦を焙煎して作ったお茶だよ。 ノンカフェインだから時間を気にせずごくごく飲めていいよね。
Do you know what else is caffeine free and is a good drink on a hot summer day if you drink it cool? Beer. You wouldn't have thought about that, right? That is the European classic beer. Where I'm from, we even sometimes have like a mix of beer and some lemon, which makes it even more refreshing. Gives it that little bit of sourness, which on a hot summer day just hits right.
Coffee? なんとか氷だけ出せないかな。あれ、なかなか出てこない。やった！氷の音にセミの声。しみじみと夏。
I mean, beach. Beach would make it more summery, but yeah. Now we go to one of the classics, the good old crab. Now these, I've never seen one of these. The ones that get sold where I am, they normally have the similar crab design. However, they just have a thin layer of like chocolate sauce or fruit sauce, and then they just lay it and be done. It's never with cream, never with fresh fruit. How can I get an older girlfriend? Date advice, huh?
ちょっと早く着きすぎたな。うまくいくといいんだけど。はあ？名前の聞き方？あ、何その質問？何から説明したらいいかわからないから、必要なことだけ簡潔に聞こうと思って。簡潔すぎない？そんなの普通に聞けば。何？何？そうか、空もそんな感じに。その顔やめろ。不安だ、とてつもなく。
お待たせしてすみま
本当に来た。
せん。どうしてもあの時のお礼がしたくて。
Alright.
多分それ熱中症になりかけてるんで、これ飲んで。
すみません。お気持ちだけで結構。
お願いですから飲んでください。
お飲み物も買っていただいたのに何のお礼もしないなんて、おばあ様に怒られてしまいます。お時間作っていただきありがとうございます。
いや、それは別に大丈夫そうでよかったです。ミッション、名前を聞く。そのいきなり聞くんじゃなくて、まずは違う話で和ませるんだ。天気とか服褒めたり。その服メイド服ですね。あっちゃー。
これはあの時と違って涼しいんですよ。
なるほど。ちょっと待て、メイド服の褒め方ってなん？
I mean, you don't have to. I feel like it would have been totally fine to just ask for the name. You know, before we do the whole exchange, she's trying to give you something. Could I first get your name? Let's do a little introduction. So we are on the same page now.
そんな経験則はまだない。天気とか最近暑いですね。
その暑さのせいで先日はご迷惑をおかけしてしまい、 大変申し訳ございませんでした。どうぞご家族で召し上がってください。
和まね
メイドの勘、クレープですね。
Wow, she's so good. Mate intuition. She hits the nail on the head. Holy crap. He was definitely thinking about crepes. Yeah. Not about your name. Now, it would have been nice if her name was somehow related to that. And her intuition was correct, but it did not interpret right. I don't know how you make that. I don't know what her name stands for. Japanese stands for something, as all the names do. But that would have been nice, you know?
はい。そういえば向かいはクレープ屋さんだったか。
行ったことないお店って緊張しますよね。
いや俺は
一緒なら大丈夫ですよ。行きましょう。
I mean, that's the new
まあいい
goal.
か。
What do you mean? I guess that's fine. I feel like anyone in your position would be ecstatic. There's a girl you are interested in. You're meeting, you don't know her name, and she's like, let's go eat something. Instead of just handing over a gift and be done with it, you're extending the meeting. I mean, I'm all for it.
名前聞くの今か。違うか。楽しそうだな。
Very
聞くなら
friendly,
今か。
the music.
ではいただきます。
いろいろ考えすぎて何の味かわからん。
美味しいです。
Because he can't taste his dessert, I was thinking of, hey, how about you share with her?
甘いクリームに甘酸っぱいイチゴ、さらにアクセントになるチョコソース、薄い生地が重なって食感も楽しい。ずっと甘いのにずっと食べていたい幸せ感。
うまい。
ごちそうさまでした。
あ、いや
そういえばどうしてクレープって言うんでしょう。ご存知ですか？
いや
No clue.
忙しい人だな。
ジュン、クレープはフランス語で絹のようなという意味なんだ。焼いた麺の模様がちりめん布のように見えることからこの名前になったんだぞ。
なるほど。名前の由来はこういった名前。すみません。まだお名前お伺いしてませんよね。私は立花すずめって言います。今日絶対に聞かなきゃって思ってて。笑われてしまいました。
遠藤空です。なんだ、裕次郎の言う通り初めから普通に聞けばよかったな。実は俺も名前聞きたいってずっと思ってて。
I wanted to say he should also just tell her that he wanted to ask her name as well.
そうだったんですね。遠藤さん。
立花さん。あれって空？
Don't get jealous. Raw egg over rice. Now that is interesting. Something that I feel like would not fly where I live. I don't know. As far as I remember, the first time I heard about it, anime, naturally, it was like you take hot rice, you put a raw egg over it, you mix it up, and because of the hot rice, the egg slowly cooks, right? So it's not really raw at that point, right? Because raw egg has some potential problems. Let's see. Who?
最近縄張りに新しいやつが越してきた。
It is so sad she has a box as table. Just buy a sheep table and a sheep chair. It's not gonna be that expensive.
妙な服を着た娘は今日も何かを食べている。一体何を食べてるんだ？
Okay.
米だ。あれはあまりうまくない。よっ。なんだあれは。
いただきます。
もしかしてそれはうまいのか？
卵かけご飯は明治初期にとある記者が食べ始めて広めたのがきっかけなんだ。昔の卵は貴重品だったからあまり食べられていなかったんだぞ。ちなみに当時は醤油ではなく塩や唐辛子で味付けしてたらしいぞ。
I'm assuming soy sauce was not really a thing back then, or maybe expensive. Because it takes a long time, or it did take a long time to make.
どんな味になるのか気になるね。
Yeah, you did not really clarify, is it going to stay raw or raw egg over rice? Tamago kake gohan is a popular Japanese comfort dish made by mixing a raw egg into hot rice, typically seasoned with soy sauce. The heat from the rice slightly cooks the egg, creating a creamy custard-like texture. It is a quick to prepare and often enhanced with toppings like nori, furi, kage, or green onion. So it is cooking it somewhat. I mean, enough. The dish has sometimes been referred to as the soul food of the Japanese, characterized by Japanese exceptional high standards of egg hygiene, which minimize the risk of salmonella poisoning from raw eggs. I would have to check how high the chance of salmonella is in my country. I'm not certain about that. But if it cooks the egg somewhat, then it's similar to like a lightly scrambled eggs, right? Like the omelet you see in Japan, the one, the one where you have like a little hill of rice, you put the omelet on top, you cut it with a knife, and the gooey inside is probably what is the texture of the rice, the egg in here.
何うまそうに食べてよほどうまいんだな。しまった。あのポーズの2回目はやっぱり食べ終わっている。
You wouldn't get anything anyway. Fuck off.
こっちだ。本当は缶のやつがいいんだがしょうがない。
I'm not giving you anything.
おはようございます。
お前と同じものを食べてやってもいいぞ。
すみません。ご飯はあげられないんです。
なんとなくもらえない空気を感じる。おい、妙な服の娘。次は何か用意しておけ。わかったな。おい、聞いてるのか？用意しとくんだぞ。
かわいい。
I mean, if I had a cat that came around to my home every now and then, I would have some cat treats. I would give it like 2 cat treats and that's it. But not my food. It's mine. You can't eat it. Not good for you.
そろそろ取り込まなきゃなのに。
Now this is where the heat is very good. You can just hang up your stuff and you don't have to worry about it at all.
気持ちよくて動けない。
It's going to dry in a day.
でも今日は4時にお惣菜屋さんに行かないと。
どうぞ出来たてです。
よいしょ。
She's going to fall asleep.
びっくりした。
Because it's really warm, it's fluffy, it smells very nice. She's just going to fall asleep.
お布団あってよかった。ただ転んだのもお布団のせいなんだけども。お日様の匂い。これを。
I mean, understandable.
Oh. あれ、寝ちゃって。そんなお外真っ暗。
No food for you. Nope. You know, I know what this is calling for. Instant ramen.
寝過ごしちゃいました。
お待ちしてます。お待ちしてます。お待ちしてます。お昼寝は15分から30分がいいと言われているぞ。寝すぎには気をつけようね、俊。
That is correct. It is said that 30 minutes or so, I believe, is like ideal. It's where you get the benefit of something like a deep sleep without sleeping for too long. It is going to give you a little bit of a push. If you sleep too little, then you don't get any of that. If you sleep too long or nap too long, you get the drowsiness that doesn't go away. So that is why 30 minutes are seen as optimal if you want to take a nap. Now, the problem is it's not really easy to time. I wonder if there's maybe like a medical instrument, something like a watch you can have around your arm that measures your some of your vitals, then checks whenever you fall asleep and wakes you automatically after 30 minutes. I feel like that would be a good idea. Because you can't really go lay down and be like, okay, put a timer for 30 minutes, because sometimes you just sit there for 5 minutes, maybe 10, don't sleep instantly. But fair enough, we did not eat at the end. I would like to try egg over rice. The crab, I mean, looks very loaded. Probably a lot of cream, if I had to guess. Still, probably delicious. We had some drinks as well. Yeah, I mean, 4 dishes or 4 things. I do like the format of the show. I just like really some of the special information. The rum pot I already knew about, more or less. Or the plum wine. Which in that case you can exchange the plum for whatever. Again, there was, for my grandmother, she just put any old fruit we had, because we had a couple fruit trees. And that was fine. Never really apple, now that I think about it. Maybe because apples are always gone. People just eat apples, and you can also make apple pies, which are very nice.